Greetings, and welcome to another edition of the Verbally Effective Podcast. Today is a special edition of the Verbally Effective Podcast because we are inside Casa Library and we have three amazing comedians sitting next to me. I'm going to introduce them right now, but I'm going to let all three of them get into, their background and how they got to where they are today. To my right, your left is Skeet Carter.
Yes, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. I ain't been in a library since I was a kid, so
Yeah.
it says a lot about me.
Yeah, this is a non-traditional library.
But this is
We do
dope.
creative things here.
I see. This is very nice. We were really thinking about coming back,
Okay.
without you. We just want to do our own
Fix
thing.
it, Jesus.
Nice.
Without me,
good,
okay, yeah, you can do that. Also, to the left of me, to the right of you,
Yes.
I have the amazing, beautiful Coco Brown.
Hey, sister, how you
in
doing?
the building.
What's
good,
up?
I'm good. Thank
What's
you
up?
so much for agreeing to come on the
Absolutely,
podcast.
absolutely, honey. I
Yes.
support my sister, so I'm
Yes.
so honored to be here.
I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Yes, and over here, my good brother, Big Vino.
How you doing? Good to be
What's
here.
up, Big Vino?
Thank you for having me. Unlike my friend Skeet here, I've been in a library recently. That's how I was effectively able to release myself from prison through an appeal. So, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, you kidding.
No, he ain't. Okay, go ahead.
No, he ain't. Okay, we're gonna start over here with Skeet. Tell me how you got into comedy.
Stand-up comedy. I've been doing it for 13 years. I was a barber before I started doing comedy, so I was the guy in the barber shop talking trash all the time. And, I used to cut with 40. 40 is Kevin Hart's brother. And while I was in the shop, I didn't really have a relationship with Kev, but everything that I was doing, he was like, man, this is just Kev all over again. And I'm like, what do y'all keep saying? What does that mean? Around that time is when Kev was really taking off. So I was like, oh, that's what he doing. Oh, he's starting to get famous. He's doing this, that, and the third. Found out I had a child on the way. I said, well, I need to do something in my life to, move to the next level. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try this little stand-up thing. And I wrote for jokes for about 3 months. And my son was due to be born on March 12th. I put a show together on
My birthday.
Oh, yeah, really? Look
Yes,
at that. Look at
yes.
that. We was talking earlier. See, I knew we had a
Yeah.
connection. And then March 6th is when I put a show together. I previously was a promoter in the city of the tri-state, so I had a nice following. I did my show. I had 300 people show up. And the feeling or the response I got from being on stage was like, oh, this is magical. And that's when I was bit with the bug. And I was like, I think I want to do this for the rest of my life. And I think real quick, I think one of the jokes I did, this is how I know I wanted to do comedy. So it was a guy named Gotti in the barbershop. He's a real short guy. And every time he come in, we used to do jokes back and forth. Like, he'll win some days, I'll win some days. So I waited till I got on stage. I said, I'm going to get him today. There's a room full of people here. It's 300 people. And I was like, man, here go my man Gotti. Stand up, Gotti, let the people see you. He stood up, but he's so short, it looked like he's still sitting down, right? And so I was like, it's my man right there. I shook his hand. I was like, I remember when I thought I almost lost Gotti. Gotti got into a car accident. And he was like, Skeet, get down, hurry up, man. You got to get to the hospital. Because Gotti was in a car accident. I get to the hospital. I say, hey, I'm here to see my friend Gotti. They was like, little Gotti? I was like, yeah. They was like, oh, yeah, they sent him to Children's Hospital, right?
Not the Children's Hospital.
The whole crowd goes crazy. It was like, and I was like, oh, shit. Excuse me. Oh, this is crazy. I said, oh, I killed you, Gotti. I said, you'll never win again. But the response, the rumble, everything that I felt, I was like, I want to do this, and I've been doing it ever since, man.
13 years.
13 years.
So did you jump in before the social media craze, or you were?
Yeah, I'm just I'm original. I'm a
Stand-up.
stand-up comic. I just started doing social media. It's part of what we have to do now. A partner, a manager of mine, Charlie Mack, said, you keep saying that you're a comedian and you don't want to do social media. He was like, he said, Will Smith is one of the biggest actors in the world. I said, he had to jump on social media. So what makes you think that you don't have to? So I was like, so I had to bite the bullet and, really start figuring out what can I do. Be comfortable with it. I don't want to be looking like a clown on social media and doing other stuff, but what can I be comfortable with? And it definitely shows value because it helped me a lot tremendously, you know, on social media. And so now people, you know, I get hundreds of people coming to see me in different cities and stuff like that. So it's a blessing.
Yes. Skeet Carter from Philly. Okay, Coco Brown from
Hey,
Virginia.
Yes, bad news, baby.
So tell us how you got started in comedy, because I know, you know, you've had quite a different journey than Skeet. So let's talk about
I'm 26 years in.
26.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's like I think a good 12. It was a blur, because it was just the grind. But I got into comedy through a friend. I never ever had thought about being a comedian. I just, if you talk to my friends, I've always been the one that kept them laughing. I was always the chick that all the guys wanted around. And it was funny because there was a time that they kept saying, you know, Coco might be a slut, you know, because all the guys always wanted me around. And they was like, why is she always with the dudes? But they kept me with them because I kept them laughing. I was like one of the guys. I was really kind of a tomboy.
Okay.
But because they saw me always with the guys, they thought that I was, no, never was I. And some of these guys are still some of my best friends to this day. So one of my homeboys knew Chris Paul, who used to be on the Tom Joyner Morning Show with Huggy Lowdown. He was having a barbecue. I had just graduated college. I was working a corporate job at Ringling Brothers in advertising. And he invited me to a barbecue at Chris Paul's house. And I was just being me. And at the end of the night, his manager, Pop Thomas, came up to me and said, you ever thought about doing comedy? And I was like, no, you know, but I had done theater before. You know, I did my first play when I was 10 in the 5th grade. And he was like, you know, you're funny. You're naturally funny. You should come to my open mic, come to my comedy club, because he had a comedy club in Maryland where I was living. And I said, okay, you know, I wasn't scared of a stage. And because I had come up, you know, watching the evolution of, you know, Def Jam, Comic View, seeing stand-up comics on your TV every Friday, Saturday night, I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm an actress. I minored in theater. I can do this. Ha! Little did I know, comedy is an art form. Stand-up is an art form. So I got on stage just trying to talk through some things or do jokes as I thought. I called myself writing material. And the audience is staring at me like I have two heads. No. And I panicked and I said, well, forget y'all, I ain't gotta do this. I work for the circus. And the crowd busted out laughing. And I said, oh no, I ain't out here juggling monkeys or nothing. And I'm just doing me, and the crowd is going crazy. And I'm like, I said, y'all think I'm in there with, I'm a clown. I ain't hopping out no car. Like, you know, I said, I do advertising. So I'm really being real, but the audience is cracking up. So when I came off stage, I ended up meeting my mentor, Darcel the Fat Dr. Blejman, God rest his soul, who had mentored like Martin Lawrence, Donnell Rollins, Tommy Davidson, anybody worth their salt that came out of the DMV, DC area at some point had went under the tutelage of Fat Doctor. And he was in the audience, and when I came off stage, he said, yo, come here. And I was like, yeah, and I recognized him from Def Jam, and I was like, wow, you know, I remember you, you know, la la. And he said, you just learned something on that stage that usually takes most comics a decade to understand. And I said, what's that? He goes, what's real is what's funny. He said, when you got real, he goes, that's when you had the crowd in the palm of your hand. He goes, and you have a natural ability to have timing. Because the way you were saying that stuff, I would have thought you were seasoned. He said, you just weren't spitting it out. It's like you knew when to take a moment, pause, bring it out, lay in this punchline. I'm watching a natural comic in my face. I said, oh, wow. So he took me under his wing, taught me the game, took me on the road, you know, taught me the business, taught me how to write a bit, taught me about setups and punchlines and callbacks and, you know, and bait and switches and all that stuff that most of these new comics have no idea what I'm talking about. But that helped me, you know, make a set. And then, you know, just went on, won DC Comedian of the Year, only 2 years in the game, you know, and I've just been going at it. And then, of course, that transitioned into me doing TV and film, moved to LA in 2003, you know, got hooked up with Tyler Perry, worked with him 6 years, you know, got hooked up with John Singleton and Ryan Murphy. It's been a journey, because there are people that don't know I'm a comedian. They think I'm just an actress.
Really?
Because I've done, I guess, a lot of TV and film, mostly TV.
Yeah.
And when they see me tell jokes, or they come to my shows, I didn't know you were a comic. And I'm like, yeah, I've been a comic for a long time. But then there are also people that know I'm a comic and, you know, an actress as well. And then they're about to see I'm a triple threat because I'm about to release a Southern Soul album.
Okay. You know what? As I'm sitting here listening to you, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, I did musical theater.
Yeah.
You know?
Give me a do re mi. Give me a song.
Do re mi.
Okay, I hear it.
Trust me, I ain't even trying to hit the note. I'm just being funny. But no, it's like I just, it's Southern Soul just cracks me up. And you can say some of the realest stuff. And I ended up hooking up with, one of my friends, James Worthy, not the basketball player, but the Grammy-winning music producer. And he was like, "You want to do one?" I said, "Yeah." And we were playing, and then I realized, "Ooh, maybe we should do this."
Come on, triple threat.
So I'm about to be a triple threat. I'm excited about that. I've been kind of keeping that on the low, but
I'm dancing back up.
Yeah.
Okay,
You gonna be back up for me, Vino?
I'm back up dancing.
Cool. Okay,
Back up dancer, not a backup singer, a backup
I'm
dancer.
dancing.
Big Vino, how did you get into comedy?
Well, I'm actually, I'm the baby of the bunch first.
You're the baby?
Yeah, I've only been doing comedy. This February will make 7 years for me.
Okay.
I'm actually just a story of redemption. Just like you ain't locked into your circumstances. Because I was a dope dealer. I was in
He
these
was a real
streets.
Biggie Smalls.
Yeah, I was in these streets. I was a guy. If you met me in an alley, you try to make it right. So I had a crisis of conscience one night, and I said, I got to get out of what I'm doing. I was living in Newark, New Jersey. That's where I'm from, born and raised. And I just dropped everything, gave it all up, and moved to Virginia. And said, let's start over, let's try a reset. Mm-hmm. And I tried to get a job. I had a little bit of money from the game. I put that into, investments for myself, and then said, let's get a job. Yeah. Allegedly.
This is all allegedly.
But I tried to get a good job so I can get some benefits, join the workforce, and it just wasn't working for me. That I used to clean buildings, and I used to bust a sweat, like a hard sweat, like to the point where I had to bring a change of clothes because I sweat so hard. Mm-hmm. And that man told me I wasn't working hard enough. Mm-hmm. He said, I need you to do this job faster. You're taking forever to do it. You're not working. You're not moving fast. I said, bro, I'm doing the best I can. You know what? This probably ain't going to work. And I quit, and I said, you know what? I think I'm about to get back into the business because I need this money. Mm-hmm. And then I was talking with a friend, telling him, what was going on. And he reminded me of a time where I joked my way out of a gunfight. It was some discrepancies about misappropriated funds. And, I may have been in the wrong, and I may have had to face some consequences.
Okay.
So I made a joke, and the guy was like, man, I can't do that, man. You go shopping for my mama and we laughed, and I'm still alive. So,
Okay.
so
he's
like,
funny though.
Yeah. No, well, I had to keep a stoic face, but if you go with me in good spirits, at the bar, we was shots on the bar. It was good times. Always, I know how to hold court in a bar, and then that's how it kind of translated. I was like, comedy might be a thing. It's the same lifestyle. You're drinking up late, it might be a little drug use. It translated. It was an easy transition.
Another gift.
Yeah, so I decided to try it. And so I walked into the local club, and I was in Virginia Beach, and I went into the Virginia Beach Funny Bone for the amateur competition, and I said, sign me up. And I made the show, and it was 250 people in the building that night. Mm-hmm. And I did okay. I did very well. Like, I did so well that I ignored the light because it was feeling good. So I got disqualified that night, but everybody was like, yeah.
Why did you get disqualified?
Because I ran the light. That's a no-no. That's a sin in comedy.
They give you a light in comedy to let you know that your time is almost up. Okay. And if you go past that light, past your time, it can be detrimental.
It'll be a problem. Yeah. In a professional setting, you'll find yourself out of work. In this setting, because it's amateur, you just disqualified from the competition. You're not going to win. Mm-hmm. But I won the crowd. Mm-hmm. The crowd was with me at that point. And I said, oh, this is what I need to do. Mm-hmm. This is similar to ski. This is what I need to do. Gotcha. And then the next guy behind me got booed, and it was like, bring back the fat dude.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Was your shirt? Did you sweat when you was up there?
No, I did. I had a velvet long sleeve button down. I was
velvet
and a Kangol. I still got that on DVD.
You was sweating at the job. I'm like, did you put that same amount of work?
You was up there looking like a washed up rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're still in the game 7 years.
And I'm still in the game 7 years later. You know, I made my bones. I finally won the competition. The club threw me in the rotation. I got to, you know, start working with some notable people, and Coco caught sight of me one day. Yeah, Coco said, you know what, you working with something. Why don't you take a ride with me for a little bit? Let's talk about something. I said,
let's talk about that though real fast while you're saying that. So Coco is responsible for a lot of young comics to work on the road. I mean, like, you start at home, you start in your hometown. That's pretty much where you got to build your own rapport, your fan base, your thing. And it's kind of, not going to say it's easy, but we all can do that. I got Philly on, you know, that's my town.
Philly on lock.
Tri-state, I could do that all day long. I think it was Baltimore. I don't know first of all, I don't know if this story is even, I don't even know how this worked. In my mind, I saw you in Baltimore. Me and Teray we was doing shows together. And I'm leaving the green room. I don't know, did we have a Sunday or something where we crossed paths? He was like, hey, baby, I was trying to get in touch with you. I was like, me? He was like, yeah, I wanted you to do a show for me or with me or a feature or something. I was like, I said, I ain't getting no call, but I mean, when you need me, I mean, I'll do it. And then we did a show, whatever. That one show turned into 2 years. In 2 years of working, I'm talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 shows a weekend. We going to state. I did every comedy. I did every comedy club from the Funny Bones to the what's the other ones? Improvs. We did everything because of her. I did. So I got to get. I was funny, but I got to perfect my craft and become a monster with working with someone like her. So she don't have to do that. That's number one. Number two, I'm me. I'm Skeet Carter. You did that for what? Kevin Hart?
Kevin used to open for me back in the day, way back in the day.
Go ahead, name the people that
who you put on?
It's just the opportunities. You get opportunities.
Let's see.
So that's
Korean.
She ain't gonna say it, but go ahead.
Skeet Carter. Let me see. Trey Williamson. Desi Banks. I mean, just people that I looked out for, you know. But I do that because if it wasn't for the Fat Doctors, the JB Smooths, the Talents, the Freddie Ricks, when I was coming up, that took me on the road with them, taught me the game, were not intimidated when I was getting better and better. You know, they wanted me to get better and better, and then they also made me. You know, they kicked me out the nest and made me go fly on my own. So it's something that I've continued in my career. When I see a young comic who's got the potential, that understands that I need you to do this amount of time. Don't be up there doing my jokes, anybody else's. Learn this business. Man my merchandise table. Learn how to merchandise. Learn how to set your table up. See what sells. See what doesn't sell. Learn this game. And then, I tell people, I give them about anywhere from, 12 months to about 18 months to 2 years. And then I'm kicking you out the nest. It's time for you to fly. Okay. And everybody I've done that with, they have gone on to fly to great lengths and, heights. And people always say, well, you always put fire. You put very good comics in front of you. Good. I don't want anybody that I have to watch on stage. I need you to go up there and set me up lovely. You create the wave, I come out with my surfboard. I know what I can do. And that may sound cocky, but, you could put me up against anybody. Okay. I do feel that way. True. That you could put me up against anybody. True. And I'm going to either hold my own or I'm going to transcend.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not I want fire in front of me. If you look at the people that I've had on the road with me over the years, I want heat in front of me because it makes me look like Jesus when I come up there. Okay. Because they're going to be like, oh, she can't follow them. And then when I do and rip it, they're like, oh, wow. Now, it's also a curse and a blessing because it keeps me off tours. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Would you prefer to be on tour?
It's cool when you can make a certain amount of money for 15 minutes of your time. But then when you get kicked off the tour because in that 14 minutes, 59 seconds, you're the only one getting standing on. Then all of a sudden you become a threat. So we were talking about this in Cracker Barrel. We were doing an Instagram live yesterday, all hanging out, having conversations. And we've all at some point been kicked off of a tour because we were too good.
And what was the excuse for the promoter to kick you off the tour?
Oh, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
Doing too much. The headliner ain't trying to work that hard. Oh. I want to work hard. Okay. Because to me, in my mind, I still haven't made it. I don't know how that is, but it's
Triple
just
threat?
Honestly, I'm working, I'm comfortable, I'm good at what I do, all of that. But in my mind, I still have another level to achieve. There are different levels for me, and I still feel like there's levels to achieve, especially when I see people getting to those levels, and I'm going to keep it 100. They ain't as good as me.
Okay.
So I know I've got to still put the work in.
Let me ask you this, Coco. Does it have to do anything with you being a woman that
Of course.
you feel that way?
Of course.
So let's talk about some of the stigmas with female comics, because we kind of hinted a little bit on the morning show, but we didn't get to go into that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Well, and I went through that phase too, but I don't do it anymore. But most female comics, they say, are not funny. All they talk about is D or P or sex. They have no range. They say if they are funny, they must have slept with somebody or got somebody writing for them. They tend to like the cute, unfunny ones, and then they gas them up to think that they're more than what they are. If you are somewhat attractive and funny as doo-doo, you've got to really work your own lane, especially if you're not sleeping with them. It is, I hate to say it, there are some female comics that I know more about their sexual organs than I do their jokes.
Wow.
Because I've gotten to the point that I'm big sis, I'm auntie, I'm mother in the business. So I sit in the green rooms and I sit in these cars on the way to shows, and these comics feel very freely to talk about, and I'm sitting in there like, and I be wanting to grab my sisters and saying, baby girl, that's not the rep you want, but then they look at me like a hater. I'm bitter if I'm trying to tell you, check you, or, give you some motherly, sisterly, auntie advice. But the biggest stigma with female comics, especially black female comics, is that we're not funny and all we talk about is sex. And I just literally had a conversation with Tina Graham, who's like considered the godmother of comedy because she was one of the founding members of Def Comedy Jam. And she was telling me that, she said, Coke, I've been following you for years. She said, and I be using you as an example to some of these female comics. If you want to study somebody who's mastered being a comedian and doesn't have to talk about sex, you need to go watch Coco Brown.
Okay.
And I said, wow, really? She said, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I went through a Phil phase too. My whole set at one point was, I suck it and I do it and I kick it and I kick it and I take it and I suck it.
And what made you stop? What made you stop doing that?
Honestly,
it probably worked.
Let me tell you
Worked.
something very simple. I was doing a show in D.C., ripping the room, all sex jokes. I had one that was just really raunchy. Like, you couldn't pay me to tell it now. But it got me my first standing ovation. And I remember I looked over and it was Big Tigger. And he was looking at me with sheer disgust. I'll never forget that look he had on his face. And something in me just was like, oh no, I can't, no. Like, if something hit me, and then I realized, girl, you better than this. This is not who you are. You're being, and that's with any comic. Let me tell you something. Any comics say that they didn't emulate somebody they admired them first 5 or so years in the game is lying. When I first was in the game, I was Baby Samore, Baby Monique, Baby Adele, because I admired these sisters. And I wasn't doing their material, but I was emulating them because I admired them so. My mentor told me, Fat Doctor told me, you would not find your own voice till you at least a decade in. I thought he was crazy, but I promise you around year number 8, my voice began to come out. I began to realize who I was. I'm a Jack and Jill kid. I grew up in cotillions, debutantes, high teas. I went to elocution school. Come on now. Okay. And then for me up there talking like I'm some Project Hood rat, and that's nothing against any other female comic. It's just I was emulating what I thought the audience wanted, and I wasn't being true to me. Now I can go on stage and I can let you know in my jokes and still be funny that I have a master's in secondary education. Please don't play with me. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like I've worked on, I'm on a board. I'm on multiple boards of organizations that help young girls, that mentor young girls. Like, don't get it twisted. Coca Brown is Coca Brown, but Farrah Brown is even more of a beast.
Farrah Brown.
You know what I'm saying?
Standing on business.
On business, baby.
Okay.
On business. So I think that's the biggest stigma, but now that I've found my voice, it's funny because Tina was saying now there are people trying to emulate me.
Yes.
So that when you get to a point that now you're the blueprint, and people are trying to be you, even though it's kind of jacked up, especially if they're doing your material. But it also is a sign of flattery because you never developed a voice that's distinct, and now people are trying to be you.
Wow.
So I take it kind of as a badge of honor, honey, and plus I change my material so much. Keep up if you can.
Have you ever wanted to quit?
Absolutely. I wanted to quit last night.
Last night?
Last
in
night.
Memphis?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I was sitting in the room and I just felt, because I think what it is for me, I know that there is a chapter that I'm entering into, and for the first time in my life, I'm not sure exactly what that chapter is. I was very sure when I went to college what I wanted to be. I was very sure when I decided to leave corporate and become a comic. I was very sure when I left DC and moved to LA to pursue acting. This is the first time in my life I'm not sure what that next chapter is. There's so many branches now of different lanes I could go in, and I don't know which one it is. And so sometimes it affects my passion on stage. And I just don't feel like my mojo's kicked in. I don't feel like I'm centered, I'm present. I'm going through the motions for them audiences because I can. You know, timing and delivery is like breathing to me. My jokes, I've probably got 6 hours of solid material in my head. You know, and so, but I know when I'm not committed to that moment. I know when my mojo's off. I know when I'm not present. I'm just going through the motions to give the people what they want. And then I come off the stage and I feel bleh.
New heights, new heights.
But I feel like, you know, it's just for the first time. And at this point, I have to listen. I got real quiet in 23 and say, God, just speak to me because I know that you're taking me somewhere. But for the first time in my life, I don't see the destination. I said, but so last night, yeah, I went through a phase where I was like, maybe it's just time for me to walk away and just sit still and let the Lord tell me. But then, you know, I woke up this morning and got a call from a young comic and they wanted some advice. And I'm on the phone being mother, auntie, like, okay, baby, no, do this, baby. Okay, we'll do this, baby. And I said, no, your job ain't done here yet. You know, so I don't know. I don't know where I'll be in the next 3 to 5 years.
Brand. Just listening to you, you've built such a huge brand. There are so many directions you can take this at this point.
Yeah, I could go teach right now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I was like, you know, a part of me has been contemplating going back to school, getting my doctorate and going to child psychology because it bothers me that we have so many jacked up adults because they didn't get fixed as a child.
Okay.
So I'm all over the place. I want to finish writing my book.
Yeah.
You know, I want to write some screenplays. I was talking to Big Vino about a screenplay. I want to collaborate with him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's so many directions. You know, it's always been tunnel vision which direction I was going in the past. And for the first time in my life, it's like a tree with so many branches and I don't know which branch to walk on.
Yeah, but that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, just asking for clarity.
Yes.
That's all.
Amen. Amen. Now, you spoke about advice, giving advice. Skeet and Vino, tell me, what's the best comedic advice that you guys ever received or just gained in this business?
The best advice that I received with performing, I was pulled in a green room by a big comic, and he said, Skeet, man, you funny as hell. He said, but you all over the place. I said, what you mean? He said, your jokes is everywhere. He said, structure your set where everything's connected. It works, it flows. That way you ain't saying this, and why you talking about this, and then at the end you talking about that again, or you talking about something in between it. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So when I realized that I can now structure my set, and maybe I may create a joke, come up with a joke today, and it's about such and such. I'm like, oh, that it goes right here in the beginning with the stuff that I already have. So now it makes it more compact and compound, and I can beat a joke up more without leaving meat on the bone. And as in the audience, you're looking like, oh man, he's like flawless. It just makes you look so packaged and put together. So that's something that I learned. And now I see young comics look at me and be like, man, you destroyed you. But that was the information that I received, and I'm able to deliver that way. So that's
okay. What about you, Vino?
I think some of the best advice I ever got was from my homie Stevie J out in LA. And he said, I'm going to give you some advice. Don't take no advice. And in saying that, he was saying, there are going to be people in this game who give you advice and tell you how you should do things, how you should move. And real talk, you're up there selling you. You have to be you. You can't have people dictate how you present yourself. They can, you know, say, hey, you know, that might have rubbed people wrong, but don't let them sway who you are or change what makes you inherently you. because that's the thing that's working on stage. And just be mindful of that when people come to give you advice, because there are haters at times, and they will
give advice.
Yeah,
honey.
they'll give you advice to set you up to fail.
Oh yes, just to set you up to fail.
Yeah, they'll tell you, hey, don't do that no more,
seen
because that's killing and it's making their game look weak. You know what I mean? I had people tell me, don't curse, don't address who you are as a person. Who I am as a person is why these jokes are effective. You're telling me to calm down key points of my character that's supposed to be formulating the entertainment that I'm bringing to you. So that was good advice.
For like a new comic to like get on stage and be themselves. Is that?
Yeah, that's what when she says.
Well, no, the first 5 years you're literally emulating who you admire. That's why people were saying he was like Kevin. And I was being called a baby Monique and a baby Adele and a baby Samore. And
I've been called baby Corey, baby Patrice O'Neal.
Yep.
I've been called all of that.
And then one day, if you stay the course and learn this craft, it stops. And then you start hearing people say, yo, I just saw this comic. They were trying to be you. And that's when you know you've evolved.
Wow. How do you guys handle a tough crowd? Do you have?
You mean like 3 of them we had this weekend?
Yeah. I had to calm somebody down. I had to calm somebody down last night.
Baby.
Oh man, look, I don't want to get too vulgar on your platform, but she was.
Let's just say that she was happy to be there, but she didn't realize every time she jumped up and ran across the room like she was in church, it was distracting.
Okay.
Like, girl, we are not at the Pentecostal
Was
church
she really?
right now. I mean, I love the
Where's the
fact that, I'm glad that she was feeling what I was saying and feeling what you, but when I say she would just jump up, oh, hallelujah, oh, praise God. And we're like, girl, this is not church. Like, I'm cursing.
Like security.
I didn't even. I wanted.
Was drunk.
Yeah, I know who you talking about.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
No, she didn't start talking until I got up there. I was so shocked. I'm like, she stays quiet through Skeet. She stays quiet through the Soul Career. She stayed quiet through Chestnut. As soon as I get up there, that's when she started talking. I'm like, man, okay, I get
Like,
it.
don't be loud having whole conversations at the table. Like,
Phone just ringing.
phone just ringing.
No. Hold on. He telling the joke right now. Hold on. Listen, girl, he funny.
And it's like you're forced to bust them out. Is that right?
Well, you have to. And then the ones who like to get up and try to walk out your show, and then they want to make noise when they walk out because you done hit a nerve. Because trust and believe, the whole audience is laughing, so obviously I hit a nerve.
It's like a child. You got to pop him on the hand. You doing wrong. Stop. Shut up.
Like, hey, that's how I hit a nerve. All right.
You got to talk to the security through your jokes or through on stage. Like,
Yeah.
Seriously, before they come over here, like, but you really telling them to come over here.
Yeah, like
You
security.
don't want to be like, yo, listen, shut the hell up at my show, because now you changing the energy in the room. So you got to talk in code, like, to the management and security, like, get her out of the show. Right
Yeah.
now. Like,
I just realized that these new comedy crowds are not trained like the ones I came up in. The ones I came up in were Def Jam crowds, Comic View crowds. They were respectful. They knew their lane. I'm in the audience. You're on stage. Somehow, I don't know if it's because of the whole Will Smith slap. I don't know. These new people in the audience think that we need them to interact with us to make us funny. No sugar, we're proven comedians. Or you need to come up on stage because I've hurt your feelings and you want to come up there and try to touch me. No, I will bust you with this mic stand. Like, a lot of us are.
I blame these crowd work specials. No offense to them, they're funny material, good stuff, but it encourages the crowd to talk. Like, if that's not what I'm trying to do, then don't do that.
You blame who again?
Crowd work comedians that only do jokes that have to apply to people in the audience. They have to talk to people to get their jokes out.
Gotcha.
They can't just get up there with a microphone and give you material that makes people laugh. They have to incorporate the audience for their jokes to work.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and if you
I
can't
got your
do
own
it,
language. I love
if you can't do it by yourself, then this is. And I love how we say this is a solo sport, because when you up there, it's you and the microphone, and you have to work it out, because it's a big difference than you at the barbershop or on the block at the water cooler. Like, yeah, it's funny because, again, it's crowd work because you're incorporating all your friends into it. But when it's just you and them, and then they're actually just sitting there quiet waiting for you to say something, it's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that shed light on a lot of comedians during the pandemic. Because a lot of us stayed working because we were able to tell jokes on Zoom. But if you need an audience for your jokes to work, you is struggling That's when you started seeing a lot of comics put out them goofy videos because they couldn't do no
It's been a lot of them. Yeah. Wow.
Man.
You know what? Something else I want to hit on is the inequities with pay in the entertainment business, because we're seeing so many people come out and expose the entertainment business as a whole. You've seen it with Taraji P coming out.
Monique started it first. Okay, go ahead.
Monique did start it first. You're right, but I don't know why
They
didn't
just didn't
listen
like
to
her.
her.
They didn't like her delivery.
They didn't like her
That's-
delivery,
but
and
she
she
said the
had some
same
heavy
thing.
hitters she was going up against. Your
They just didn't like her
Tylers,
delivery,
your Oprah Winfrey's.
Yeah.
I've seen it in radio. I've seen it across the board. How have you guys been navigating when it comes to inequity in pay? And establishing, just really standing your ground with what you need to make.
Well, let's just be honest. I mean, it's a lot of industries that no one is getting their just due. That's just all across the board. So, I mean, if we want to talk, you're talking about acting, that's one thing. Let's talk about comedy. We perform in Los Angeles, do shows and get a check for $15.
Yep.
For $15.
Yeah, and people think it's a game when I say that.
No,
Like,
seriously.
they literally will write a check for maybe $20 and like here thanks for your performance, and they made about $3,000.
I used to let mine accumulate at a certain club till I at least had 80.
Right.
And then I'd go get them.
And it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So
And that still goes on?
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
is that something that's negotiated on the front end?
it's
Or how does that
something-
work?
So what they do is they tell you that it's opportunity at their
They always say
establishment.
opportunity.
It's Los Angeles. You never know who's going to be in
You
your
know,
city.
Exposure.
That
Yeah.
exposure.
Exposure, free
There you go. There you
promotion.
go.
That's old. That's old Hollywood. That's old
Yes.
LA. That doesn't even transition like right now. You know, to be honest, like Coco will tell you, you got to work, get you an agent, get you a manager.
You ain't even got to do that now. You just got to get enough commas above your name on social media.
that too. But I'm just
So
the
social
point-
media plays a big factor
that
into
plays
the pay.
That's the new gatekeeper.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
Social
yeah,
media's the new gatekeeper.
You got to do it. So I mean, it's a shameless plug, but you got to come up with your own businesses. You got to come up with your own brands. You have to come up with your own things to make money. I was a barber. I worked for the government. I own my own construction company. I own my own wine brand now, so I have things that's going for me that I don't need to do certain things for money. Like now I can say no, I don't want to do that. That's not a good look for me. If you need money, you'll say yes to things that you really don't want to do.
Right.
You'll be in a movie, doing whatever, and it's like, why the hell did you do that? Well, look, I needed the money at the time. You know what I mean?
But they said dressing up like a woman, that's the big thing.
I mean, however
They've
you
been
feel.
doing that.
Yeah, you guys learn to
That's
feel.
what Cat Williams
I don't know.
said.
We're the only race that does that. And if the other races in this business do, they don't let it leave the kitchen.
Right.
We're the only ones that put our discrepancies outside with everybody inside. We're the only ones that do that.
Yeah.
Why
You
do
know?
you think he did that?
Who can?
So we can be
'Cause he
talking about it
can't.
right
I
now.
mean,
That's Cat.
'Cause he
Cat is
can.
known for talking
Controversy.
Crazy.
and
the man's been unhinged for years. This is nothing new to us. We're like, oh, it's
We were just
He got choked out by a 12-year-old.
We hear what he said, right?
He got put in a headlock by an 8th grader. What?
very
Yeah.
entertaining. That was a 2.5 hour special
Yes.
of talking.
2 hours
it
and
was
45
2 hours?
minutes.
Yeah, 46 minutes.
He did.
It was like watching Roots. And I mean, none of us in the business were anybody that's worth their salt in the business. Now the new babies, they don't know. They, when it came up, we was like, oh, Cat on one again.
He talking again, y'all.
He talking again. Like it wasn't anything. It was a couple of times I was like, oh,
Right.
because there was certain stuff that I didn't know or whatever. But that's Cat.
Yeah, that's Cat.
And he
That's
did it
Cat. If
before.
Cat got up there and started quoting Shakespeare, then I'd be concerned.
He did it before. He did this in previous, like a couple years ago. Like he have his moments where he just jump out there and it's like a Kanye moment. Like Kanye.
He's the Kanye of comedy. You got it.
That's a
That
perfect
is a
analogy.
perfect analogy. He is the Kanye of comedy.
Yeah, and he talked about, making a lot of money, back to those inequities with you, Coco, being a woman.
Yeah.
Has it been different for you even getting money comparable to your male counterpart?
Oh God, yes. I mean, and don't let me get started on the social media comics. That you want me to headline, but this baby getting paid thousands and thousands of dollars more than me. You know they can't close this show, but you're going to give them 3 times as much. No. No, they want that kind of money. They earn that money. I'll be going out doing my 15 and going back home. Let them earn this money. No, you don't get to do that to me. You don't get to pimp me. It's crazy as it seems. I've gotten more money going outside of my agents than having it go through them. Sometimes you have to shake them because they get caught up in the whole, well, your numbers aren't what they need to be, so we can't ask for this. Really? Because this promoter over here gave me 3 times as much as that.
It almost makes you think you even need an agent.
I mean, you to do certain clubs and venues, you have to. You have to. It's a shame to say, but some of these bigger comedy clubs won't touch you unless you're coming through an agency. So I suck it up, but I also on the other end make up my money because I know when I deal with them personally and I let my assistant handle that contract, I'm going to get what I asked for, no questions asked. You're thinking and assuming I won't get it because, oh, well, Coco, you don't have 1 million followers, so they're not going to give you. Really? But then I go over here and get it. So that's why a lot of us who come from the game of 20 years or plus, we have a hustle mentality that there's never not a plan B, plan C, plan D. We always know how to get what we want. Now, when it comes to Hollywood, yeah, I'm probably one of the lowest paid people on 911. Let's keep it 100. But I was a fan favorite.
Okay.
Didn't matter, but I didn't complain because what I was getting was suffice for me at that time, and I got raises every year, so I didn't complain. But I know that out of all the reoccurring characters on that show, I'm sure I was probably one of the lesser paid ones. Yeah. When I think what irritates me is that with women, once you give us what you think we deserve, or you give us what we asked for and you've appeased us, they don't know how to continue to make that number grow. To hear that Sharon Stone, who got $500,000 for Basic Instinct, which made her a star, 25 years later, does a movie where some young kid comes in, is getting paid $10 million, and they offer her that same $500,000.
Wow.
And she's Sharon Stone. To know that Taraji, when she got all that money from Tyler to do that movie where he paid her worth, and then fast forward to Color Purple and she got offered the same money, like, where's my growth here? Where's my raise? Where's my men? Y'all constantly keep giving them more commas. But it's like once you appease us as a woman, that's our cap.
Yeah.
You gonna keep offering us the same money. So yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But at the same token, you have to ask yourself, okay, am I gonna stand my ground, maybe not work, or am I gonna get this money and look at it as a benefit that, hey, at least I'm getting this much? It's a choice you have to make.
And you know what, Coco, you've built such a community of people around you that you've helped put on tours.
Some appreciate it, some don't.
It almost makes me think you could start your own agency.
Oh, I would never.
You would never?
I like to pick and choose who I deal with.
Don't want to be tied in because of the money.
Ooh, some of them egos, honey, and the mother in me was snap. Who you talking to?
And see, I already know, as a woman, Coco has dealt with a lot of challenges in this game. What challenges do you men face?
Oh, man.
That we may not know about.
I mean, you want to start? You got a lot more time than me.
It sounds like y'all got a long list.
It depends. Like, what are we associating it to? Like, you were talking about what?
Like I deal with not getting paid my worth, or having to get put on a show because I'm funnier, but the person that has more followers gets paid more than me, or whatever. Like, it's just the haters.
Well, so I had to deal with me being a young comic around older comics that are kind of stuck in the past. And ageism, and they don't want to recognize what's going on, so they want to, instead of embracing the new thing, they want to kind of try to mess up what I have going on. Like I did this big show in Atlantic City. It's me, some more, Bruce, Arnez, like big show. I'm blessed to do arenas and all this type of stuff. So I'm at the point now where I get booked for those shows, but of course I have to go first on the show. And a comic tells, they're about to announce me, bring me out. So a comic that's seasoned, he walks up and says, hey, do not introduce Skeet, just let him go up cold in front of these thousands, 10,000 people out there.
Interesting.
But I'm a professional. I'm a beast. I'm gonna do what I do. Okay, y'all not going? Oh, y'all not gonna introduce me? Okay, cool. Give me the mic. I go behind him. I start the whole show now. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready to? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna build this whole.
Introduce
I need y'all to make
myself.
some noise. Yes, Atlantic City. Are you ready? You know, boom, boom. Y'all, listen. Before we get this show started, I just gotta make sure the energy's in the room. I do the whole thing. DJ, give us some music. All right, to start the show, man. Your comedian coming to the stage. You've seen him on Comedy Central. You've seen him on Wild 'N Out. You've seen him in all these movies. The Philadelphia's favorite comedian, also known as the side dude. Give it up, make some noise. Skeet Carter. Boom, go crazy.
Boom.
He's mad now because they wouldn't even give me introduction like that. I had to put that thing the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna look at you. You looking at
Always
me.
a plan B.
Always, and be able to handle it professionally.
Yeah.
Do your thing, and then I'm gonna just let you look at me. So it's been years. We finally got back on the same page, and he got to respect that. Hey, bro, like you really doing your thing, and I can't really knock you. But it's
Wow.
stuff like that because that
Had to
can
come
deter
around.
someone. That can make like, man, why they don't like me?
Yeah.
Why I gotta go through this. Why? Man, maybe this ain't for me.
You gotta let that go because they ain't gonna never like you,
they
especially
don't-
if you're funny.
Yeah, it's like.
Especially in comedy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
It's a
It's a
tough
lot
industry.
of like stuff like that, but I stand my ground always. I'm spiritual, like whatever your faith is, but you know, you pray on it, work hard, be a hard worker, have a goal that you want to work towards. Always gonna be things that come, but as long as you're working towards something, I think you can't go wrong. You know
I
what I'm saying?
love
So
it.
just know what you want.
Okay.
And that's the little stuff that, you know, we kind of go through, or my experience.
I got you. What about you, Big Vino?
My biggest problem as of late is people try to pigeonhole me, and it pisses me off a lot because I do understand I have an urban swag, an inner city vibe, and that's what my demeanor is. But they try to make me exclusive to only black crowds and black audience. Like certain clubs, they're only gonna book me when an urban act comes through, and I'm like, I actually get a better response from white people than I do black people sometimes. Like I leave white people. Dude, I can't believe it. I've been called dude so many times. And so I hate when they just think that, hey, I only rock for the folks. Like, of course,
They
those
judge
is
you
my
by
people.
your appearance,
Yeah.
but not your jokes.
Yeah, they don't understand. There's a real depth
Like they judge you
to
for
the
your
jokes
numbers
that I
instead
do.
of your
Yeah.
funny.
There you go.
Exactly. There's a depth to the jokes that I do, and it's a real intellectual. Like Coco said, like people wouldn't believe that I'm college educated. I probably was the smartest math student that the city of Newark, New Jersey ever saw. So, like, I'm good with articulating my thoughts and ideas. So, put me in front of those different. I want different audiences.
My
I
mentor
want to be
made me do
world.
nothing but white rooms.
Yeah, that's how I
when
started.
I first came out in the game. I couldn't
White
even do
rooms.
the
What are white
mainstream rooms.
Okay,
where
the white folks in the
80-20
room.
is 80% other.
I
Okay.
was horrified.
And
of those
20%
rooms, Coco. I
20.
couldn't-
No, Fat Doctor wouldn't even let me touch the black rooms. I feel like
Is that a better training ground?
Well, yeah, I mean, for me it was. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me it was because I can get booked for anything. I can do corporate, I can do church, I can do urban, I can do, real urban, I can do corporate, I can do anywhere, any stage you put me on, I can adjust
Right.
because of that training. You know, there's a lot of comics I know been in the game 20, 30 years, and you try to put them in front of white folk, they freeze. They're like deers in headlights.
Can I ask you this? Because I love your outlook on this. I like to say that those white rooms give you the structure, urban rooms give you the pace.
Very, very, very good analogy. Very
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
Very good.
My thing, so Keith Robinson took me, I was killing it like in Philly, tri-state. So Keith Robinson is from Philly, but he's a New York comedian. He performs he's good with everyone, but he's in the mainstream rooms. He said, all right, man, you think you're funny? Come on up here to New York. I'm like, cool, I can perform in front of anybody, but I go in there, there's no DJ, there's no nothing. He's like, give it up for, he made me use my real name, that killed me. He's like, give it up for Israel. I said,
I'm dead.
I'm like, what the hell just happened?
They thinking you better sing a gospel song.
Man, the way I'm raised from my mother, like I know how to code switch, so she taught me how to be, I'm gonna be me around my people, but in front of white folks, like I handle myself totally different. So they brought me up as Israel. Now my mother's in my head. You guys don't be a nigga in front of these white folks.
Right.
I'm using my interview voice. So, hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? I said, this is how I talk to white people. It was bad. Keith Robinson was like, "What the hell?" I said,
No,
"Bro,
you
I
can
don't-"
be yourself in front of them. They love it because it gives them a peek inside of our culture.
That's what Jamie Foxx told me. He said,
Seriously,
"Man,
be
you gotta
yourself
you."
in front of
So is
them
it
white
better these
folks.
days?
Oh hell yeah! I just didn't know. It was new to me. I'm like, I
Yeah.
couldn't be. I didn't know how to be me in front of them, and it took a while. It took a while. It took me a couple years.
Well,
to
you ready
actually-
now. You ready
You
now,
know, so after that happened, right? So Charlie and Keith Robinson, they had me out in New York. We went out there. So Charlie stopped talking. Whether that happened, I'm trying to, y'all understand. Y'all laughing. It was bad. I couldn't talk. So if I was saying titty or whatever, my joke, I was like, boobs. And I was like, I
You
couldn't.
just code switched all the way.
All the way. So Charlie left me alone for about a year. He said, yeah, he ain't ready. Keith Robinson, they all was like, yo, he said, we ain't gonna tell nobody none of this happened. I went on the road. I got back. I was like, yo, maybe it's not for me. I don't know what's going on.
Is that when you were doing driveways?
I got with Coco. We toured for about a year. We did Baltimore again. I told Charlie, I said, hey, man. I remember I didn't talk to him for a year because it was like he ain't got it. We toured for about a year. I built myself up. This is my pace on stage. This is punchline. This punch, boom, boom, boom. Charlie comes. He bring everybody. He said, I said, Charlie, come see me. Me and Coco in Baltimore Comedy Factory. He comes down there. He brings everybody from the crime scene. That's everybody that was in New York came to that show. Still got the pictures on my phone. They came out in the hallway. I didn't even know Charlie brought those people. He brought everybody. It was in the hallway. Everybody just did the slow clap. It was like, yo. This is a total 360.
So tell Charlie I need my finder's fee.
You
got that training
Get
from
that
me.
finder's fee.
And that's when we start working together again because of, and that's full circle. So Coco's responsible just having that platform. I told you when you're on tour with someone and you're able to perform every night, you're only going to get better. You're only going to get stronger. Your flow, your pace, your everything, your confidence, just
Putting that
everything is
10,000
going to be like that.
hours
So
in
that's
there.
exactly what happened. That was all. Coco helped me with that,
Amazing.
man. Making
Coco,
sure
you done
that
helped a lot of folks out. How do you feel when people give you your flowers? How does it feel?
I mean, of course I feel good, but I also feel it's my obligation to reach back and help the next generation, those who want to be helped.
Okay. Those who want to be helped. It's not a lot of them that want to be
Oh,
helped.
honey, please.
They claim they do.
Some of them, they look at us OGs, as they like to call us. Oh, OG, you just bitter. OG, I don't need your help. Oh, that's the old way of doing comedy. Oh, la, 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 la. And I just be like, okay, sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, sugar. Okay, sugar. And it is a new era of comedy. I refuse to say stand-up because I know what real stand-up looks like, but I'll say it's a new era of comedy. And the industry is supporting it and encouraging it because it puts more money in their pocket. I get it. It's about money.
It's always
But
about
at the
the
same
money.
token, if by some chance they change their minds and decide that they want to book real comedians who actually have sets, if they ever were to go back where you have to have that point of view, where you have to have that tight 10 to do late night, if they ever go back to that, a lot of cats are going to crash and burn
Oh, wow.
because they're not trained, because they don't know that, honey, you can't get up there and try to translate a 3-minute skit into a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Wow.
Unless we up here watching theater. You've got supporting
Interesting.
players. So, so I'm not knocking them. That's the era we're in right now. But just know when I look at these two guys, I know that if the game was to change tomorrow and by some chance it really actually went back to structure, the craft, funny, they going to survive.
Yeah.
And if I was able to help them achieve that, then I've done my job.
Amen.
I can walk away from this tomorrow and I know that I've put a footprint in this business because at least I've helped others achieve their goals.
Yes, ma'am. Standing on business. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed all of you on the Verbally Effective podcast. I've learned a lot. I'm not going to lie. I've learned a lot about this new era of comedy, as you call it.
Yeah.
And before we go, I would love for you to tell the Verbally Effective audience a piece of advice for up-and-coming comics and, tell us about how you've gotten into different streams of income, as you said it, Skeet, with your brand. So we'll start with you, Skeet, then we'll go to Vino, then we'll end with Coco.
Just to be quick, I know that you know, I won't get my just due as far as payment in every form when I'm doing certain things. As far as acting, I'm on hold for a couple like TV shows and stuff like that, or just guest appearances. And the pay is horrible.
Horrible.
But it's like, all right, I'm gonna take this for opportunity to see me. So you need, oh, that's Skeet Carter. I just seen him on this show, and it's like you like, oh, congratulations. It's like, but you don't even know that was.
You did that for lunch money, you know? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy, right? So
Yeah.
I love to do what I'm doing, so I want to continue to do that. So what I had to do is create things where I can generate money. You know what I'm saying? So I can really come out and spend my own money, come out and pop up on Coco. Hey, I want to come. I'm gonna rock out with y'all this weekend. You know, I want to talk to the owners at the club. I want to, you know, do whatever. I can do that because I'm blessed to have my own money. Because if I was waiting on Hollywood or these opportunities, I'd be, you know, outside or laying in the ground outside in LA. That's what a bunch of homeless people out there. They talented. Them people is.
But that's real talk,
I
though.
heard. That's what I heard.
You've been, when I used to go out there and feed the homeless when I lived in LA, you would meet former lawyers, doctors. It's insane. It's insane. Actors out the yin yang, singers out the yin yang.
They're not getting what they deserve. So one of the things that changed my life is my wine. So I don't have a regular wine. I have a wine cocktail. It's called Rica Vino. So it's a fruit forward wine. It's peach, mango, lavender abstract infused with Caribbean rum. So it's 25% alcohol, which makes it a wine cocktail.
I love it.
It's something that I came up with because my fan base is women. It's a lot of women, so I wanted to cater to them. You know what I'm saying? So either my women gonna buy it or their man gonna buy it for them.
Okay.
I didn't like the fact that when ladies go to the club, they get in free, but they get to go to different guys' section. There's just a bunch of hard liquor there, Casamigos, Hennessy, and all that. Man, you too pretty to be drinking. Y'all look too good to be sipping on hen dog and all that. So I wanted to have something that these guys had to put in these sections now to cater to you. Something sleek, something smooth.
Vino.
You gotta roll your tongue. You gotta roll your tongue.
Rica Vino.
I like it. So that's what I have. So this is we're in deliver. I'm talking to distribution now. They offered me a pretty penny, but I said I know I could get more. Let me stand on business.
Stand on
what I'm saying?
business.
So I said I'm gonna show you what numbers I do on my own, and I've been from city to city, state to state, doing
Selling it,
crazy
slanging it,
numbers.
Rico Vino.
Rica Vino. So when we do get distribution, I think I'm only want to deal with black wineries. I want to keep this in the black community. So we'll do each city. We'll get. I'm bottled by Black Oak wine tasting room. So we do big festivals. March 9th we have a festival coming up in Philadelphia. So if you follow, you can get that. But I want DC. I want Baltimore. I want Memphis. I want to go from state to state where you go to one spot and you go get your Rica Vino. We retail for $60 a bottle. So what I'll probably do for my black wineries is we'll probably give it to them for $50 and they make $10 off each bottle. So they'll give them, so I'm about business and we're going to start sponsoring different people. So
And it's good.
It's
good.
It's
Delicious.
It's grown and sexy.
Grown and sexy. So that's me. So that's what I do, and that's what I'm able to do to keep me afloat and get to do what I love to do at my leisure. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
I recommend anyone in the business to find something that you can own, that you can have, that helps build you and carry you to that way you can make decisions on your heart and what you feel is best for you and not because you need to do it for fun.
Yes, sir. Any advice for up and coming comics?
Yes, comedians, find a brand, find some ownership, find something that you can call yours that can help you provide for your family. And then, from there, you can do what you want, with this entertainment business because it don't love you. It does.
Okay.
You love you. I don't know if that's a quote, but yeah, it doesn't love you. They don't care.
And how can a verbally effective audience keep up with your journey? How can we follow you and support you?
You can follow Comedian Skeet Carter on all social media platforms at Comedian Skeet Carter. Put it in Google. All my films will come up and check that out. I'm in Secret Society, A Holiday Chance. I'm Heather. We're just dropping a hip hop story that comes out February 24th in AMC theaters, and a few other things. But and that's Rica Vino. Follow that on social media as well.
Thank you. Okay, how about you, Big Vino? Tell us about all of your amazing streams of income and advice and how we can keep up with you. You gave me a shirt earlier, so I know.
So I can't talk about all the streams.
Don't do it.
No, I'm like she said, I'm on the road right now with Coco. I'm on the road with a couple people, so check for me for all dates on, like, I sell a lot of stuff. I really do. I sell a lot of stuff, and most of it can be found on my website, comedictherapy.xyz. It's not .com, it's .xyz. I did that because, you know, life will beat you up, but you got to get the last laugh. And if I get the XYZ in, then I won. Because there ain't nothing after that.
All right.
So,
come on, Brandon. Come on, Brandon.
So that's what I do. Comedic Therapy XYZ. Big Vino comedy on everything, like all my dates, anywhere. Like, this is why I don't do crime anymore, because my schedule is posted, so they know where to find me. So it ain't like I could hide out for, you know, a couple months. And any advice I would have for up and coming comedians is give up. Don't you like yourself? You don't want to be beating yourself up, chipping at your ego every day. You want to go home and like what you did, because even when you do good, you feel like you're gonna do better. No, I'm kidding. Follow your dreams.
You were talking to, and I'm just dying right now on the inside because I know exactly who you're talking to.
Give up.
Let it go.
Get your HVAC certification. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. DeVry is still in business.
Oh, God.
You could be the class of March. But no, honestly, chase your dreams. Do what you can. You ain't stuck in your circumstances. And at all times, tell the people you love how you feel about them. Let them know. Be an example of it, because you never know when it's going to be over.
All right, Coco Brown.
All
yes.
right. You know, for me, it's so much. If I was to run down, you know, you guys can always find me at Coca Brown for Life. That's COCOA Brown for Life.com. That has everything going on with Coca. It has my Coca Brown collection, the Coca Brown collection. That has the world famous minty toes. Ladies, if you wear your heels, put it on while you're doing your hair and makeup. You won't feel nothing once you put them heels on for a few hours. I got you tonight, girl. Got you tonight. Make sure you go check out my Coca's Cravables. They are clean and dirty edibles. I'll let you figure that out. There's CBD infused edibles and then the other edibles, all legally. Okay, you can check those out. The good thing is anything that's sold off those websites, a portion of every sale goes to wigsoflove.org, which is my nonprofit organization which helps women battling lupus. And we're trying to find a cure, but it also gives women a new perspective that you are not lupus, that you are beautiful and you are wonderfully made even when you're battling this disease. So check out wigsoflove.org. We also take high quality wigs that we revampish for women and donate to women who've lost their hair due to lupus or chemo or radiation. If you have a child that is interested in acting, hit me up, Little Oscars, From Stage to Screen. It's a personalized acting workshop where I work with your child, and not only do I work with them, but I also make sure they get in front of Nickelodeon and Disney once they're ready. Okay. So if you have a child that wants to be in the business, hit me up for Little Oscars. You
I might want to be on Nickelodeon.
From Stage to Screen.com. Make sure you hit me up with that. And you gotta have multiple streams of income, you know, and make sure y'all get my Southern Soul album when it drops. You know, I don't have a date yet because we're still in the studio, but it's gonna be fun. And see me on tour. Like I said, my calendar, Coca Brown for Life, COCOA Brown, the number 4 life.com, or you can just Google me, Coca Brown. Please don't forget that A. That's why I keep spelling it, COCOA Brown, because some porn star wanted to come out named Coca Brown and people be getting confused. So COCOA Brown is me, okay? And what advice would I give to a young comic coming up? God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm so real right now. Yes, please learn the craft. Get under an OG. If you find someone who's been in the game for at least 2 decades, who is willing to give you the game to understand how to set up a joke, how to write a joke, how to deliver a joke, please do. But in the meantime, build your brand on social media, because that's where they're going for the next big stars anyway. They're not coming after the people with 141 credits. They're going after the people on YouTube. So build your brand on social media, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But in the meantime, while you're doing that, please know what you're doing. Get with an OG, take some classes, learn the craft, because the last thing you want to do is try to scramble to get ready when you could have already been ready. Okay? All right.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me yet again on the Verbally Effective Podcast. This has truly been an honor and a pleasure to learn about your business and some of the things that you guys go through. So I know we have a lot of people in our audience that are trying to attain what you guys are doing right now. So this is great motivation for them and some great advice. So thank you once again. Big shout outs to Skeet Carter, Big Vino, and
Thank you for having me.
Coco Brown.
girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and thank you all for tuning in yet again to the Verbally Effective Podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe, follow, as well as on that Ina Esco YouTube channel. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.